Welcome, football fans and Viking fans, to the Coach Joe Jingleball Show. I try to get him to smile. He gets very serious here at the very beginning. Coach, you come off a trip to Ferdinand, a tough Forest Park opponent that's just going to get better and better every year. You can just feel it. Come back for homecoming against Tell City. And Tell City is maybe a little down this year. I'll tell you what, though, they had some tools. That Trent Gunn back there at running back, and I was really impressed with some of the things they were trying to do.
Trent's a very good back. He, as last year before, as a freshman, he was a starter for him. He gave us fits, and he runs very hard. He's going to be a young man that in the next 2 years is going to have to be contended with. And as you're saying, Forest Park, for a young program, those kids play very, very hard. Coach Wagner's done a tremendous job with them. They are going to be, I think, a force to be reckoned with in our conference and in the years to come as they get experience. And as our young kids get more and more experience playing, and our conference has been made much better with the addition of Forest Park as far as football is concerned.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Coach, one comment again about last week is that the crowd. We did not, I couldn't see where there was a place to sit in the stands, and there were people that were lining up sort of on both ends.
We have a great following. Even years when things are not going real well for us, we have a lot of people come and follow us and support our kids. And it's really important to our players, and I think it is important to the people that work with the program. We had a spirit week this week that I told the kids at the pep session was probably as good as I've seen in years. They all participated day to day on the different activities that they had, and they carried it over to Friday night.
Some of the things just about the Tell City game, obviously Jacob had a very nice game, and I guess it's because you and I played more on the line, but you know, it gets set up by an offensive line. Frank did a good job of running, and Michael was very patient with 6 for 6 passing in a game where we didn't have to pass a lot. But again, I feel like the offensive line is the anchor that set that up.
I think in the last few weeks, our offensive line is coming together as a unit. I think that they are playing very hard. They are understanding, I think, what each other is doing. And I know that Coach Rink talks continually about offensive linemen have to trust each other. They have to work, do their job, be where they're supposed to be, and not try to overdo, not chase people, but to be in the correct position at the correct time. And I feel like that we're starting to come together as that at this time.
The other thing is the specialty teams that we had a return to kickoff. Jacob showed great patience in letting that wedge form, and we had pretty good execution by the extra point group as well once again.
Yeah, we're getting a little better on those. There's some things we need to work at yet on our special teams. I think that you know, catching the ball sometime we've had a little trouble with, but 2 of the catches that we sort of bobbled have actually ended up into run backs for us. But those are kind of things that you know that you definitely want to not mishandle, because a mistake on any of the specialty teams can be monumental.
Coach, there's just no way around it. In one game at a time, this is a tough South Spencer opponent. Bruce Green is 66-33. He didn't get there by luck. He's prepared every week. They've got plenty of tools that we'll get into here a little bit, but less than 10 points a game is sort of the highlight that I want to hit in this conference. And with the opponents that they've played, to be holding opponents to less than 10 points a game presents a heck of a challenge.
Yes, it does. One thing South Spencer's done all the way through their history is play tremendous defense. They have kids that swarm to the ball. They play extremely hard. They're fundamentally sound. Make very few mistakes. I don't know the exact takeaway ratio, but it's got to be up there this year. In the films that we traded and watched, I know there was 3 or 4 interceptions, or maybe more than that they had against when people were throwing the ball. They will be very much a challenge for us as we get ready this week to travel to South Spencer to play. They've got their offense is 1-2 that is very methodical. This year they're not scoring as many points as they have in the past, but when you're only giving up, as you said, about 10 points a ball game, you don't need to put too many on the board.
That's right. You know, some of the tools that the Vikings have to prepare for, a couple of offensive players that sometimes change the play in the middle of the play with this young quarterback Harmon and Jacob Lauer at running back. They continually make plays that you can't draw up.
Right, and you know, when you look at those kids, and you talk about year after year, like Jacob Lauer. I remember coaching against his dad when he played up at South Spencer, and this is a tradition that South Spencer has too, a continuum of kids in their program that worked all the way through. And it makes it, you know, it makes it very, very exciting, but it also is something that shows the type of support that they have in their program and the interest that they have in their program also.
Yeah, that was almost a nightmare comment for me, you talking about Norman Lauer there, Coach, and I thought you were going to yell at me for a minute for missing a tackle. Coach, then we've got that set up fairly well. What do you view are the keys, not just for South Spencer, but for our overall improvement?
Well, we're going to have to play pass defense very well against them. I think that we've started to play the run a little bit better. Kids are starting to settle into, I think, again, at this time of year, they've seen a lot of different things. But when people throw the ball, there's a lot of things that, you know, they always say there's two things or three things that can happen. Two are bad, but many times that one good one makes up for those bad ones that occur. And key is going to be able to contain the quarterback and be able to not give them time to run their, you know, have time to look for the receivers, because they spread the field and they run some combination routes, and we're going to really have to work on this week.
Coach, Mr. Ferguson tells me that there's a fan bus that's being scheduled. He expects to get 2. I think the challenge might be for 3 fan buses this time. I just feel that we're going to have a heck of a crowd following us to Rockport for the game this week.
I think that our fan following has been like our fan base at home. It's been tremendous all year. Even in the beginning of the year when we were struggling just a little bit, we still had folks there, and they give you that support, and they let the kids know that it's important to them. And I think that's one of the things too that's helped us to improve is the interest and enthusiasm that has been shown by the community. And it's a great place to be, and it's been a great place to be as far as working with adults here as well as the students. And many of the adults now are people that were through our program over the past years, and I think it really has a great emphasis and carries a lot of weight in our program, getting our kids ready to play.
Well, there's the challenge, fans. We're going to take up, shut the lights off, and we'll leave one policeman in town. We're going to Rockport this week, and Coach, as always, busiest time of the year. Rodney and I thank you so much for your time, and we thank you on behalf of the fans for giving us a little insight to what's going on.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Coach.